Hey everybody, Paul Canfield with Copper Key Realty and Waterfront. Back to you again. One of the 16,482 things make a difference when you're thinking about buying or selling real estate. So I'm out on the back deck of that new listing I mentioned the other day on Parkside Circle doing an open house again. It's a Saturday morning, which is a more typical time for open houses, or I should just say weekends are more typical. But here's a question for the old timers out there, meaning people like me. I've been around a long time. You might have seen back in the day. Again, I started selling real estate all the way back in the 1900s. And back then, we used to put out a whole bunch of open house signs. So we might start at a main road. So in Eau Claire, you might have started on a main road like Gulf Road or Claremont with directional arrows saying open house, and then you'd have them leading on multiple streets up to the house and then the final sign in the yard. And that's what we used to do a lot. Nowadays, though, we don't, or at least most of us don't. So if you come to my open houses, you're going to see one at the end of the driveway, and that's it. And what's the point for that? Why don't I put out more? Maybe I'm just being lazy, right? Well, the real reason is that when I started doing this, information was a kind of a closely held thing with real estate agents, and in order to find out about homes, you either needed to, be hooked up with an agent or call an agent to go see it, or there just wasn't a lot of data available. And so open houses were a good way for people to find things out. However, nowadays with technology, there's so much information online that they can already pretty well sort through the pile of what's available for sale. They can already figure out, the price and the size and the bedrooms and all that stuff. They don't need to go to an open house to see that. The open house is kind of the second step, the step where you say, all right, I looked at all the online data and the pictures and the numbers and all that stuff, and yes, now I still want to go see it. And so for that reason, I'm not putting a whole bunch of open house signs way out till I'll lead people in, because I only want people coming to the open house that already know things like the price, the number of bedrooms, how much land there is, how old the house is, how old the roof is, all those things. I don't need a whole bunch of people coming to the open house that have no clue, that just saw the sign and thought, well, I don't know, let's just take a look. And that might sound contrary to the way people would think. They'd think, well, aren't the more people in there, the better? You can get competition, look like it's busy, look like it's a popular place. And to me, again, the answer is no. If there are people at the open house, I want to be able to spend time with them, talking with them, seeing what they need and what their plan is and where they're going with things. And if there's 20 people in there, or even 10 people in there, it's hard to focus on the one person that actually might need your help versus the person just happened to be driving by and they're early to get to their next thing, and so they just thought, what the heck, I'll just stop in and take a sheet and look around and see it. Now, a lot of times real estate agents get accused of using open houses as a way to get business for themselves and not necessarily to sell the house that they're in. So I would say that yes, do we agents get clients that they don't like this house, but they might want to buy some house maybe with me? Yes, that does happen. But the preference, the driving main factor is I want to sell this house, the one that I'm in right now. And so really the people at this open house that I want coming here, I want them to already know the price, the bedrooms, the size, all that stuff. And then still want to come see it and possibly buy it. So, want to see houses? Nope. Not sure where to begin or how to start. Open houses are a good place to start, but on average, I would recommend call an agent, get hooked up with somebody, learn how this game is played, and then play it correctly. So, want to talk about it? Give me a call.